I'm delighted to welcome Jim Kennelly and Linda and the students of Saratoga Springs of Skidmore College to Finuge. I had the pleasure of performing in Finuge, or in Saratoga Springs 2 years ago in Skidmore, and read there and had a great time and stayed there and had several pints in the Irish Times pub, I think it was called, which is just opposite the street from a lovely bookshop where I bought some lovely books. I don't need a microphone, do I? No. As this is part of the gathering where the Irish diaspora are invited back home to the old sod to celebrate Irish and being Irish American or Irish English or Irish Australian or anything Irish Japanese, Irish Chinese, but to celebrate the diaspora and the diversity of being Irish. So I chose to read two poems tonight that refer to that diaspora and to being Irish. And in June, I'm bringing over 14 Fitzmaurices from Watford in England to Ireland. The excuse is my aunt's 85th birthday. But the real reason is so that we can consume as much of the good Guinness as we can get in Moray Carry's pub in my van over a short period of time. We bring over these people, normally they don't come in groups of 14, but all my aunts and uncles are either English or American. I'm the only Irish Fitzmaurice of my generation. All my first cousins are English, and I have first cousins in America that I've never met. I know they were born in New York. I don't know who they are. I don't know if they're alive or dead. We had no communication with that family. So the English Fitzmaurices, they're Beasleys from Ballybunion actually. Some of you would remember Moss Beasley, Johnny Beasley's brother. He is the father of, he was in Killicrim. He's the father of these people, married to my Aunt Peg. And they're coming over, and they come over almost every year. And the first big time they came over, when we were all adults, about 1975, they came over and musicians gathered, as they do when people come to drink, and singers gathered and dancers gathered. And we went into Dinny Mac's pub, which is no longer a pub now, in my van, and we went there every night for about a week. And there used to be big carnivals in my van at the time, which were very lucrative for the publicans because they sold lots and lots of drink at the carnivals. But Dinny Mac was heard to say that when the Fitzmaurices came to Dinny Mac's pub, it was better than the carnival to him. So anyway, this is called The Fitzes Come to Town. The whole clan singing, dancing, drinking for the crack. Those nights were the talk of half my van. Musicians came and played till closing time. The Fitzes danced their old-time sets again. Drink flowed like talk that's loose by beer and wine, and teens accepted shandies from the men. Those sultry summer nights in Dinny Mac's, all were welcome among the Fitzes who brought the summer with them and relaxed, who never shirked when there was work to do. And Dinny Mac would stand us the odd round saying, "'Tis better than the carnival when the Fitzes come to town." And some of them, most of them went to England, some went to America. 3 of them stayed in Ireland. They had no, some of them married, some of them didn't marry. They had no families. I said I'm the only Irish Fitzmaurice of my Irish-born Fitzmaurice. I correct myself, of the family. But the farm, Tom died. The man who farmed my father's brother, the oldest one of the family, he farmed the land, and he died 20 years ago. And then his wife Mary stayed on. As I said, they had no family, so she stayed on the farm until she got old and she had to sell it, and she went into sheltered housing in Ballyhale. So I have 2 children, we have 2 children. So I was very conscious that they would be conscious of their heritage, so we used to bring them across to Denalappa, which is the name of the farm, the name of the place where the farm is, and the farm is called Denalappa. And we used to bring them across there very often. And the history of the Fitzmaurices, as you know, my name is Gabriel Fitzmaurice. The Fitzmaurices of North Kerry, who own the castle in the store, which you'll be seeing tomorrow, you'll be at the Shanachie right next to it. That castle was repossessed by the English in 1600 when the Fitzmaurices were blown out of it by Queen Elizabeth, by Sir Charles Wilmot. And we and the Fitzgeralds of West Limerick and Tralee, the last knight of Glynn died there 2 years ago. He was Desmond Fitzgerald, and because of succession rights, his daughters can't inherit the knighthood. It's got to be a male line, which is crazy. And it's not a modern law, it goes back to medieval times, so there's now no knight of Glynn. But the Fitzmaurices and the Fitzgeralds are the same family, but called the Geraldines. and we have a common ancestor. She was Nesta, Princess of Wales, back in the 12th century. And they came across to Ireland as Normans, and they came across as conquerors of Ireland, and after a while they became more Irish than the Irish themselves, as they were called. They fought on the side of the Irish, they learned the Irish language, they wore their hair in the Irish fashion, they played Irish music, they danced Irish dances. And they fought against the English, and then of course the English kicked them out. And the only Fitzmaurices who will now have their titles are the ones who became Protestant, because they changed their religion to conform to the ascendancy, the English ascendancy at the time, and they conformed, they surrendered, they became Protestants, and they held their lands. The Catholic Fitzmaurices got nothing. For the Fitzmaurices of Denelappa, Nesta, brood maid of the Geraldines, is where we began. For 600 years, Fitzmaurices, Fitzgeralds, Nesta's clan, builders of abbeys and castles, connoisseurs of poetry, horses and fine wine, were conquerors of the land. But the Fitzmaurices, Normans, had become more Irish than the Irish as time went on. Our castles fell to Elizabeth. The lords of Kerry fell, except those who submitted to England's will. They kept their lands. The builders of abbeys and castles are found in Kerry still, in small holdings in glens like Denelappa, my ancestral home. I travelled there this Christmas with my son. My father, his father, and his father's father sat around the fire at Christmas in Denelappa, as I did. The fire is out this Christmas, the house deserted. No Fitzmaurice now in Denelappa. Farewell all the Toms, Dicks, Jacks, Noras, Ellens, Margarets in every generation who sat around the fire in Denelappa. Where are you this Christmas, my people? Everywhere but in Denelappa. And somewhere in New York, first cousins I've never met, whose names I don't even know. For all the fires that burned at Christmas in Denelappa, for all the generations who sat around that fire, for all my people dead, alive, or yet to be born, for whom this place is home, out of our history I make this poem, Fitzmaurice of Denelappa.